Because I feel that Celebrity Juice obviously wasn't the first thing you'd done, but it was certainly something that really brought you to a far wider audience. I then went to your stand-up not knowing what to expect and was surprised that it's quite political at points, it's quite social, there's a lot of views. How did you find that with the fan base? I'm not saying the fan base you'd built aren't comfortable with that, because as I said, I was comfortable with that switch, but it is a switch. It's not you if you've grown to love Rufus Hound on this in this scenario. It's a different thing. So how did you find that, and did you ever feel that you should make any concessions and changes in that respect?
So when I got Juice, I was offered 3 DVD deals.
Wow.
And one for 100,000, another for 120,000, and one for 20,000.
Yeah.
And the ones in 6 figures were both like, we already roll out massive comedy DVDs. So we know what works. We know the what format this has got to happen. Basically, we're going to find a 3,000-seater theatre. You're going to put on a suit. We're going to work out what material you're going to do. We'll have a deadline, and then that's what you're going to go and do.
Yeah.
And then Comedy Central turned up and went, yeah, we haven't got that money, but we will put a DVD out for you. We can give you 20 grand, and that's probably all the money you'll ever make off it.
Yeah.
But you can do whatever you want, film it wherever you want, and that be that. And so that was the one that I went with.
It's scary. I mean, obviously, I'd imagine. It would be. Since then, Louis C.K. was the first to kind of take the power back in many ways. But it's scary how people don't realise how much control those big DVD manufacturers have. I'd imagine it will die down slightly now. DVD is dying a bit, but it was amazing. I had a mate who worked for one of them, and it was amazing to hear that he'd be sitting there in, say, November of this year, and they will know what the big DVD is for Christmas next year, and they will have. You may not have heard of them yet, but in the next year they're going to be on 8 out of 10 Cats a few times. They're going to be on Mock the Week, and it's that kind of planned out and structured that the general public don't really have a say in what they find funny. You're going to be told, similar to X Factor and similar to Westlife, as you were saying there, you're going to be told what is funny, and you're all going to go along with it, and if you don't, you're going to feel left out at the water cooler or at work because you're not going to know the right jokes. And it's frightening how a manufactured and controlled thing that is. So did that come into it when you're thinking, right, fuck that, I'd rather do what I do and not be...
Partly... So it's actually pretty straightforward that the DVD sales. I mean, you work in the music industry, so you'll know, like, oh, well, actually, if you look at this, and this, then it'll equal that.
Yeah.
With stand-up, it's actually a fairly straightforward thing, which is how many tickets did you sell live? And it will be ranked in almost exactly the same order when the DVDs come out. Peter Kay, Lee Evans, both playing, 2 weeks at the O2. Michael McIntyre, 2 weeks at the O2. Little Britain, 2 weeks at the O2. Well, they all release their DVDs at Christmas, and the reason they all come out at Christmas is whoever went to see them in concert goes, you remember on Facebook you said you loved Little Britain?
Yeah.
Merry Christmas. And you open it up, and there's your Little Britain DVD. So
easy, right?
It's a gift. It's at the right price point. It's like 15 quid. It's like extended family kind of money. So there's your thing. Bang, there you go. And that's why they all come out when they come out. It's because it's an easy gift for someone who knows you a little bit.
And don't get me wrong, I think comedy and comedy DVDs or specials in general are one of the best gifts that you can, and one of my favorite. Like, I generally, for years, I knew that, and it's changed now that everything is so accessible. But for years from Christmas, I'd always get a stand-up DVD from my brother, and it'd generally be something I've not heard of.
Oh, lovely!
And that was the gift I'd look forward to the most. It's only a 10 or 15 quid, but I'd look forward to the most. It's like, I remember the year that blew me away the most was a Reece Darby, because I hadn't heard of him at all. I watched a bit of Flight of Conchords. I didn't really know him specifically. His stand-up is some of the best stand-up I've ever seen. So to put stuff like that on and have that amazement, I think it's a great thing. Obviously, it's then completely different to, what Little Britain is or Michael McIntyre or so on and so forth, but still.
But then it's... So where your extended family who are like, oh, Christ, what do we get John?
What do we do?
You know, like, what does John like? You know, they don't really know. And it's like, oh, they went to see so it lodges in the memory a bit. So those people all buy their Christmas presents at the supermarket. Yeah. So it's not only have you got to get your DVD out, but you've got to get your DVD out and get it in the supermarket.
At the right price.
That's it. So when my DVD sold, there was a big sticker on it saying, you know, as seen on Celebrity Juice, because you were just hoping that as the people were scanning across the shelf, they went, oh, he loves Celebrity Juice. Yeah. You know, and it's not people going like, I can't wait for Rufus Hound's DVD. Yeah. It's other people going, oh, I remember that they like that thing.
It's that slightly detached thing in that manner. It's one journey along.
So the big DVD distributors who'd offered me loads of money, they then go to the supermarkets. You will shift 100,000, well, you know, 50,000 across X number of stores, copies of Michael McIntyre. We can either give you that and you'll make the profit on that, but if we give you that, you've got to take this many Russell Kane DVDs and this many Mickey Flanagan DVDs and this many Jimmy Carr DVDs, and you know, still not. I'm saying that like, oh, those are the pound shop comics. No, far from it. But you get there, and then other people go, oh well, I think he actually already said he had the Michael McIntyre DVD. So it's he likes that Mickey Flanagan, lovely, you know. Yeah. So, so that's how all of that sort of sells through. The long and the short of it being that having done a deal based on you can do whatever you want, I just went and did whatever I want and was really supported by Comedy Central in doing that. Yeah. They never asked me to do anything other than that.
That's fantastic.
It was fantastic. But as a result, because I was doing more TV than I was doing anything else, if I'd have known then what I know now, I'd have sat me down in a room and go, mate, there is absolutely no point in you putting a DVD out unless you're going to tour first.
Right.
You've got to do one small-scale tour that's really good, write a second tour that's better, and ideally a third tour that's better again. Yeah. And you can sell the first show on DVD when you're touring the second show. Yeah. You tour the second show as you're doing the third one, and then by the third one you'll be playing the bigger venues because it's all grown word of mouth. Yeah. And that basically that is your life for the next 3 years. That is your work schedule. So you better be getting ready to write these jokes because that is what your life is. Touring, dates, touring, and selling again, DVD.
It's the logical way to do it outside of the mass distribution houses. It's the way it's going. Right, well, you are going to be in a room with your audience, obviously, literally. So they should have stuff that they can buy then, rather than going, right, how do we get this out to them? It's like, well, you've gone just up the road from them, and they came to they literally came to see you. You don't have to hunt them out. They came, so
they may as well have signs above their heads going, "We dig what you do," and have money.
This piece of fiction is the intro to Distraction Pieces. This piece of fiction is the intro to Distraction Pieces. This piece of